Hey guys, I'm super excited to cover seasonality and the secrets to understanding the data. In this video, I'm going to cover my favorite tool for understanding seasonality and also some of the pitfalls that we've made along the way and can definitely save you guys from them. So first rule of thumb, I would avoid a short season product for your first one. Anything that is based on Halloween, Christmas, 4th of July, Groundhog Day, especially Groundhog Day. The ideal is a product that is generally year-round so that inventory planning will be a lot easier. So what do we want to pay attention to in this video? There are two major aspects. The first one is sales rank history and the second one is price history. Sales rank history is showing you that how the product has done relative to the rest of the category. For instance, red, white, and blue shorts are going to be doing better in the weeks leading up to 4th of July than during the rest of the year. Why? Because the demand is certainly going to increase during those weeks. So that means that those specific shorts are going to have a way better BSR in the clothing category compared to the rest of the products in clothing. So you want to understand what are the cycles of the seasonality that the product is going through and how consistent is it? Are you evaluating the demand right after they did a promotion or a lightning deal? And quick pro tip, a lightning deal is a one-day promotion. It's usually around 20% off, maybe more, off the list price. And you pay Amazon to promote that listing for that specific period of time through the lightning deal dashboard. And then the second piece is the pricing history. So have they recently changed the price and how did that affect the sales rate? Sometimes you'll see a higher price than normal because they're about to run out of stock, and that's also important to pay attention to. So there are two tools right now that are most commonly used for tracking BSR and pricing data. They are Keepa and Camel. My favorite is honestly Keepa because the graph is a lot more granular and easier to view. The tool gives you a lot of other information, but those are the two criteria that I use the most. But in this example, there are two brown lines over here to the right, which shows that the price was dramatically decreased for a very specific period of time. And the BSR are really improved, which means sales increased. Now, I would bet that those were lightning deals like we mentioned just a few minutes ago, but make sure to never estimate demand based on a day like April 16th or even the next week afterwards because that's super inflated. This was one of our first and early mistakes, and I know this is going to save you guys from the same mistake we did. The infamous balaclava. This was one of our first products, and when we were first starting out, we evaluated it in about December. We thought about seasonality, but the listing showed us that it seemed year-round. We could market the mask for skiing, snowboarding, but also for motorcycle riders and paintballing. Should be fine, right? What we didn't realize was how seasonal the product really was, and this Keepa graph does the perfect job at illustrating that. The product launched in early March and was doing super well, so we reordered it. And I bet you can guess what happened. By the time it landed in Amazon's warehouse, probably around May, demand had dramatically slowed down. Then we needed to learn how to get rid of the inventory. It was a hard lesson learned, but should save you guys from the same mistakes we did. If you way over order like we did, that's cash that could be used towards other profitable products, which would be way better. We were eventually able to sell through the inventory, but I've heard of a ton of people that have get stuck with $10,000, $20,000 of inventory when they're not paying attention to seasonality like this. So one of the interesting spikes in demand that we didn't even realize we were in for was the New Year's resolutions. It's kind of that new year, new you. If you have a fitness or diet related product, January can sometimes eclipse your December sales. It's absolutely crazy and really exciting. In this example, Fit Simplify has some resistance bands, and you can see in the screenshot, it totally makes sense. The product was doing just okay in the summer and might have had a stock out in June, which is why the BSR was pretty bad. But it does really well in October, slows down a bit in December, possibly a stock out, and then it did really well in December as well. But here's where it gets really interesting. From January onward, it's crushing it. Definitely has a lot of New Year's resolutions going on here. So the main thing you really want to avoid is forecasting inventory during January and expecting for it to stay that way for the rest of the year. And then on the flip side, let's say you start selling this product in July. That means you have a great rest of the year ahead, but you want to use this graph to make sure that you have a lot of extra inventory for October through December, and then even more inventory for January through April, since it seems to really pick up then as well. And that way you'll really avoid running out of stock and forecasting appropriately. So especially especially when you're looking at a listing that doesn't have enough sales history, and this happens all the time. We'll use comparable products that are in the market to learn more about the product you're trying to compete with. So for instance, I found 4 other comparable resistance bands that should all have the same seasonality. What's cool is that even one of the ASINs is actually from the same brand, Fit Simplify. So you can see that they've also expanded in the category. But all 4 of these products will have the same curve of seasonality, so you can definitely use that to help you figure out where in the cycle you're at. And please note, this was just an example. This category is way too saturated, unless maybe, just maybe, you found a really unique offering, but I still probably wouldn't touch it, to be honest. That's it for seasonality. I hope this helped you guys understand a little bit more about seasonality, because it's going to be super, super important for your Amazon business. Thanks so much.